Yo everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite here. We're going to be talking about Tsukasa in the land of Last Cloudia, alright? I haven't recorded in a couple of days because it's literally taken me this long just to get to the brass tacks of things, okay? But I'm starting this video out in Nox Player because I had a couple people ask me how I'm getting landscape mode to work. So I'm going to start the game like right here with you guys so a few of you can see. Pretty much if you go into Nox, you can download an app called Screen Rotation Control. It's right here. After you get that little app, you click on it, and then this comes up. It says select rotation direction. You go ahead and hit landscape. It will say rotation is landscape now. You look at one ad and then you just close out of this thing. Now when I open Last Cloudia, it will be in the format that I want, which is what is that thing called? There we go. Yeah, it worked right. It worked right. Okay. So we're in landscape. Alright, this is how I achieve landscape in Nox for those of you that have been asking. Very simple app to get. So now we're gonna get to the brass tacks of things. Well, as soon as this is down. Yeah, I didn't realize we had some sort of little patch or something to download. So why haven't I recorded in the past few days? It's really simple. Because this new character came out. Some people were outraged by, you know, how this whole process went down. It's kind of a character they pulled out of thin air. And then to many people's surprise, and I was one of these people that were surprised, within 3 hours of this character being released, he was already put on a tier list. And people are like, well, he's only tier 2 on this or that. And I'm like, how is that possible? I even talked to some people on the JP side. I'm like, did you guys get him a day early or something? How could anybody possibly analyze this character and even cram him into some sort of tier list somewhere? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I mean, of course, it's like, well, you know, somebody could have data mined him and looked at his abilities. And maybe that's possible to do with a character that has a bunch of abilities that we're already familiar with. We can look at abilities on characters and say, okay, this does this, this does this, and you can kind of evaluate a character's power level. The problem is, this guy has a ton of custom abilities that only he himself gets. It's impossible to know how those abilities work. That's going to take a lot of time and testing, okay, just to figure out what his custom abilities do. And then you have to stack other abilities with those and see how they run together. Maybe certain abilities stack with his special abilities, maybe they don't. You're not going to know unless you actually run him and try all these crazy different possibilities. So again, I ask you, how was this character put on a tier list within 3 hours, right? 3 hours. 3 hours is how long it took me to test the pulley system versus impact. I had to run like 50, 60 mock battles. I had to time all of them. Like, you know, and it took me that long just to see if one ability works better than the other, or like what you can stack them with, how they work together. It took me hours just to figure out one effing ability. And yet somebody managed to somehow sum this whole character up real quick within 3 hours and put him on a tier list. Here's the other thing too. A lot of people were upset because of how they did this. Maybe this was somebody's way to kind of like throw some dust on this character. Maybe discourage people for trying to pull him. I mean, it is a tough time to pull for a character right now because we already had Mr. Rick Sanchez and Kohaku to pull for. Most people don't even have the resources to to pull for a character like this. So I don't know. I hope it's not somebody trying to poison the well. I hope it's not, but you never know. All I know is he was put on a tier list in 3 hours. Doesn't even make sense because I pulled this character right off rip, and within 3 hours, I didn't have anything that I could judge. I can tell you that right now. Here's my guy right here. He only has 68 out of 104 abilities. This is all I managed to grind out for him, and I've been doing nothing but playing this character for the past 3 days. Like, this irked me so bad. I had to get to the bottom of this. I even got an experience boost for him. I didn't want to get an experience boost for him, but I figured I had to level him up fairly quickly so I could actually make sense of things, and I wanted to really evaluate this character at least while this banner was up. I just want people to have a fair chance. I want the knowledge to be out there. I want people to see these characters for what they really are, not for what some guy decided he should be after 3 hours that he launched, okay? And it doesn't have to be a guy. It could have been some girl that, helped mastermind this whole tier list fiasco. I don't know. But if you guys have been following my older videos, I have pretty much said, and especially with this game, you cannot really trust tier lists. If this was a turn-based strategy game, everything would be much easier to judge. You could look at numbers, and you could figure out what's what. The problem is this game has a very chaotic battle system, and that's what we love about it. There in which it becomes very hard to judge what's better, what does more. How much time does it take to do this? And to really judge a character, you got to look at the character not just by his merits, but how well does he fit into a party? What does he bring to a party? What can a party do for him? Right? Like this guy, I can tell you right now, he most definitely goes Super Saiyan over 9,000. And some people aren't going to want to hear that because he's already been put in a tier list. So we're going to... first of all, I should probably mention where I left off on my last vid. I clearly stated, is this guy going to beat out Kohaku out of the box? No. F no. No, it's just not going to happen. Kohaku comes out of the box strong as hell. Her abilities proc like non-stop. She just chain lightning all over people's faces. Kohaku is just great like that out of the box. She makes you feel very powerful as soon as you get her. This guy is the very opposite of that. When you first get this character and you're running him, you're like, oh my goodness, what the hell did I pull? This guy's terrible. His basic attack is just non-existent. It's like, man, he's got a spear, but he's like punching and kicking, it almost seems like, because his attack range is so small. Okay? Which, by the way, I would not suggest putting... well, we'll get into his build and what I suggest and what I don't suggest. But this is not an impact character from my standpoint, okay? This guy's going to be all about his skills, and I've known that since day one. He's going to be as strong as these abilities. These are powerful abilities, but it's hard to proc them, right? It takes a while for these things to charge up. He's not going to have them right out of the box like Kohaku does. Kohaku also has something that, just when she's running around kicking ass, all of her abilities get an SCT cooldown just from her like attacking, doing damage, stuff like that. So she just has like an endless supply of abilities to throw. With this guy, it's not like that. You have to wait for these things to charge. Yes, they do a good amount of damage. They can every skill ability that you throw can be interrupted. If one of this guy's abilities gets interrupted, that really sucks for you because it took you a while to get that ability, okay? We have his traits. Strong as Primate. Magic damage from enemies minus 25%. This is amazing right here. When attacked with a skill, nullifies the special effects that the skill has, excluding science magic. So if somebody attacks you with a killer, it's no longer a killer. You're going to nullify that, at least from my understanding of it. But this whole magic damage from enemies, minus 25%, I've been running some of the bosses, and I put the bell tower arc on him, which gives you like minus 80% magic damage. And magic just has not been phasing this guy at all. And a lot of that has to do with the strongest primate thing. It's great. I love it. This is absolutely wonderful. And then we have In One Blow. During physical attack crits, a chance to reduce the enemy's defense by 100%. That's a hundo. That's a ton. Okay? And a low chance of immediately killing the enemy close to death, excludes bosses and arena. What is kind of cool about the insta-kill thing is when you're fighting these enemies that can only take one hit point of damage at a time, this guy can just steamroll through them, and he can kill them off. So it becomes useful for dealing with just cannon fodder that's really annoying and that has some kind of crazy damage reduction. He can get around that with this thing. But the most important thing is this defense 100% break. That's huge. And this thing procs all the time. I've been running this character. This is a pretty decent percent chance when he's doing a crit to trigger In One Blow. And then your enemy gets a huge defense break. And he's just going to take a truckload more of damage from everybody. So these traits, absolutely love them. Okay? They're great. They proc a lot. Strongest primate procs every time somebody casts a spell at you. It's great. Absolutely love it. We have the character's base stats. He has the high strength that we want, right? We just want him to apply it. We want him to be able to get these skills and just start dropping bombs. So let me be perfectly honest with you. This guy takes a lot of investment. I've said that. He's not going to be strong out of the box. He's not going to touch Kohaku out of the box. But once you get his SC up, right now, he's at the point on my account where he's just starting to shine. I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and boy, is it a bright light, okay? The reason I say this, look at his SC. My guy's SC is at 53. This is what it's taken. Kohaku's SC, she's running around with 48. Mr. Rick Sanchez is running around with 45 SC, which, by the way, all of these characters only have 50 out of their 100 abilities unlocked. I do need to work on Mr. Rick Sanchez because he's just been really good for the boss fights with the breaks that he has. With some of the tougher bosses, he does die towards the middle. But at that point, it doesn't matter because Tsukasa is so cranked up by that point that nothing stops him. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to get there. All on his own. If you were to somehow take him to some kind of solo boss fight, all on his own, he would have to spend a little bit more SC to bring vital things for himself. What do I mean by that? You have to augment a way for this guy to be able to get his abilities faster. You just have to do it. That's what he needs help with. If you can give him haste is absolutely amazing for him. In fact, if we look at Mr. Rick Sanchez here, I actually put, here it is, I put haste on him. It costs 5 SC. I could spend it on science magic, but no, I spent 5 SC to put haste on Mr. Rick Sanchez just so he could give haste to Tsukasa. Okay? The other thing that I had to do is if we look at Mr. Tsukasa, I'll go through his abilities real quick, the skills that I have on him. Where is it? Spirit Breath? Is that what it's called? Spirit Breath. Recovers SCT when HP regenerates. So not only do I put God, what was it called? I run regenerate. I taught regenerate to my scientist, even though it's not science magic. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he does have some sort of science magic that's its own version of regenerate, that I just haven't got yet. But where is it? Right here. I put regenerate on him. I wish I could put high regenerate on him, but it's going to eat up 2 more SC, and I just don't have it right now. So for now, I'm using regenerate along with haste. Right? So as soon as the fight starts, I put haste on him. I throw regenerate on him. That way, all of his skill kit starts charging up. From there, I start breaking the boss. I break the boss's defense and mind. Then maybe he throws a heal, and then he'll take his sweet-ass time throwing some kind of magic spell, depending on which boss. Obviously, the plant one is weak to fire. We're going to talk about the bosses. But so this is pretty much my setup. This is what I do. The beginning of the fight, it's haste, it's regenerate, and then it's buffs. And honestly, after the haste and regenerate, this guy doesn't even really need much of a buff after that. All he needs help with is getting his skills, his abilities to proc. So SCT reduction is absolutely huge on this character. Alright? And then he just starts dropping bombs. Okay? He starts dropping bombs, and he's only at 68 abilities unlocked out of 104. Now, I wish I could have made this video earlier, but I had to see it with my own damn eyes. Like, I had to get him to this point. I have his spear here, which they did change it. The translation was wrong. Killer and Slayer types enhanced by 20%. Nullify the opponent's evasive effects. That last part's very important. But you know what? We'll take an extra 20% to Killers and Slayers. I have him with the stone statue, that just because it gives him some attack and a little bit of defense. And I have the hunting bandana on him because it gives 32 attack and more damage to enemies that are fainted or are broken. This guy breaks very quickly. Well, he's going to break as quickly as you can get him his skills. This is why I have him equipped this way. I have seen him equipped with, dual wield and with, I believe it was an axe, the axe that reduces SCT cooldown. I have not went the dual wield way because the way that I'm looking at this character is he's just dropping nukes with these abilities right here. Increasing his number of attacks, his basic attacks, I don't think is going to do that much. Also, I'm not a huge fan of impact on him. It's going to eat up a ton of SC. You want to stay away from things that are really augmenting his basic attack. I myself would not put killers on this character. I would go all for slayers. Slayers are going to play off of these skills of his, and these things are bombs. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Because the fact is, where this character currently is right now at 68 ability out of 104, I've been running him with top tier Randys off of my friends list. And yeah, he keeps up with those Randys. Like, when he starts dropping those bombs, and this is with just the abilities that I have unlocked for him. It's been hard enough to get this stuff, right? I managed to get Dark Attack Rise 2. I still haven't put Dark Attack Rise 1 on him. I don't even know if that's out yet. I think it is, but I'm going to have to look through my arcs. I hardly have any SC left on him that's free anyway. Okay, here's Advanced Aim Vitals, still on the table. That could increase his damage by a lot. What else? We got Yoga's Cover. Increase break and damage of physical attacks against enemies in break by 20%. This is huge. This is going to make him so much stronger. This is going to make enemies break so much quicker than they are already, and he's already doing the damn thing, right? I still have that to bank off of. I have to upgrade his Righteous Spear this is the creme de creme here. If you can get skill charge 3 on this character and have him start with Righteous Spear, this is the map clearer right here. Frontal spear shot with a long range dart combo that deals damage in a wide area. Righteous Spear, this thing comes down like a meteorite and just, man, he just wipes the whole screen with this thing. This has an amazing break on it. Completely breaks the boss. You just watch his break bar go all the way down. You know, I can only imagine how good it's going to be with Hyoga's cover on top of it, giving it 20% more to its break. Again, these are things I don't even have yet. Okay? And after Righteous Spear, Spear Rush is going to get upgraded. This is a good one too. This does good damage. This, love it. Great break on it. And that's Spear Rush too. I still don't have Like a King. Man, this is one of his best damn abilities. This would be worth so much SC. Nullifies strength reduction from enemies. Your strength can never be broken. You're gonna be strong till the damn end. No matter what, they cannot break your strength. And it's gonna give you continuous brave effect. I don't even want to know how many SC this would be worth. This is absolutely insane. Continuous brave effect forever. Oh, and if somebody tries to reduce your strength, it's not gonna happen. Like a King is a good name for it because this is some boss type shit right here. So I don't have this yet. This is going to increase his strength a lot and keep it there. Threatening Aura, I don't have this. The more distance, the less range physical attacks damage that you take. Great against snipers. This is definitely going to help him along the way. Let's see. Okay. We get explosion resistance. Again, I don't have this yet either. Fire and light damage from enemies, minus 20%. Holy shit, that is a lot. Consider that he's already taking less damage. Like, he gets like minus 25% to magic damage from being the strongest primate. Now, against fire and light, he's going to get minus 45% damage. And then that can be augmented more depending on which arc you put on him. Again, right now with the bell tower arc, he's literally not taking any magic damage at all. It's just awesome, right? But abilities like this are going to let me change the arc that I have from like the bell tower arc to something a lot more offensive, and then he's still going to be able to shrug off a ton of damage. Yeah, there's really not much else to say there. Strongest primate, great ability right here. This one I do have. Alright, and then I'm missing In One Blow at max level. This thing is amazing. We talked about it. This is what reduces the enemy's defense by 100%. That procs a lot. This isn't once in a blue moon. Right? This thing's going to proc. You're going to break. It's so good against bosses. Yeah, this guy is a boss slayer, but you just have to get him up to par. Okay? So these are all of the abilities. Awaken. I don't have Awaken for him yet either. That's going to make him so much more offensive because he's just going to be able to come back. Recovers HP and increased strength, defense, mind, and movement speed when close to death. That's just awesome. Can't wait to have that for free. And then we get critical up 3. I can't wait to get this because this is going to shave 7 SC off of his abilities. I'm currently using critical up 3 right now, and I'm paying 7 SC for it. So I can't wait to get that so I can free up some other stuff. What else do Spear Strike. These, of course, these abilities have to be leveled up too. The Spear Strike, Righteous Spear, all of these have to be leveled up because these are your bread and butter. I don't even have these things fully leveled yet, right? And he's already just destroying shit left and right. What else do I have? Oh, here's another custom ability that nobody ever could have judged properly and therefore put this character on a tier list. Critical Impact. Nobody else has this. unless you unlock this and use this, you're not going to know how it works. You're not going to know how well it stacks with other abilities, or even if it does stack with other abilities, you're not going to know any of that because nobody else has critical impact yet. When critical physical attacks happen, chance of additional damage. How much damage? We don't know. We have no idea. I couldn't even tell you because I don't have it unlocked yet. Yet somebody took the liberty of saying, okay, this is worth about this. Let's put him right here on the tier list. That is absolutely crazy to me, right? I'm just kind of going around explaining to you guys why I'm taking this stance on this, because nobody should have put this character on a tier list. I mean, it would at least, at the very minimum, take you like 3 days of actually leveling this character up, playing with this character, using their abilities, to even have an idea of where he would go on some sort of tier list. I mean, am I right or am I right? Or does anybody out there honestly think that you can put a character on a tier list 3 hours after he came out, if that character has custom abilities that nobody else has, that you can't judge, you don't know how much they're worth, you have no idea, right? And here's one of these abilities, Critical Impact. Can't wait to get this thing. Just, it looks like a ton of fun. Can't wait to use it. Can't wait to see what it's worth. And I think there's more. Hold on, sweetie. I'm in the middle of a rant. Alright, love you, bye. Sorry, guys. The old lady called. Okay. Alright. And yeah, I mean, there's just so many abilities on here that are custom that I don't know how this character already made it onto a tier list. I don't think it's right. That's the stance your boy's taking on it. Okay? But moving along, this is where I got my hero to, right? And this is just where he starts to shine. He starts kind of breaking away from the other characters. And look, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. He's running around with 53 SC on him. Yeah. Like, this is what it takes. You gotta at least have, like, 50, 60 SC on this character to start seeing what he's all about. I have Skill Charge 3 right here. Can't even equip the damn thing. Can't even equip Skill Charge 3. Had to take Head Bash off, which I really don't need Head Bash to fight bosses. I got Pirate's Feast here. I got Surprise Attack. Can't equip any of this stuff because everything that I have on him is taking up so much already. Now, here is my plan as far as having this guy be a boss killer. I'm going to teach him different Slayer abilities and special boost, okay? The problem is, to put a Slayer on and special boost, it costs 14 SC. So depending on which boss I'm fighting, depending on what type he is, I'm going to want to be able to have 14 SC open on this character. So I can pick the Slayer that I want and special boost. What is special boost? 50%, right? And then his spear is going to augment that. So your Slayer types are going to get 70% more damage. Okay? So as it stands right now, I'm not even running this guy with the Slayer build that I want. I think the toughest boss we have to fight is that Golem. I'm going to try to move some stuff around and actually go with Stone Slayer to fight that Golem. I don't know if I'll have enough for special boost with Stone Slayer, but I think it'll make a huge difference. I've beaten that boss a couple of times. Again, it's going to be much easier now that this guy has some more SC to work with. Like, I'm tapped out even at 53. So right now, I'm just trying to grind out gems just to be able to unlock all those awesome abilities that I have. Because I'm only playing with half the damn character right now. Right? I'm only playing with half the character, and it takes him 53 SC just to... I can't even say he's shining yet. He's just twinkling a little bit. But I can already see the potential. I can already see this guy just dropping effing bombs. And it's taken me 3 days just to get to this point. So I don't know how anybody could have put him on a tier list just by looking at a piece of paper, reading off a spreadsheet. I don't know. And I just think that that's bullshit. Guys, think for yourselves. This is definitely one of the more powerful characters in the game right now. That's all I could say without actually having him built all the way. He takes a huge investment cost. He's not going to be strong out of the box. This is a character that you have to work on, even more so than Celios. I will say that. Like, I think Celios accelerates a little bit quicker on his way up to power. This guy is going to be a slow grind, but once he gets up there, once you actually see how much he breaks the enemy's bar with any of his abilities, once you actually see all of the damage light up that this guy is doing to bosses that other heroes are barely scratching. Like I said, right now this guy with 53 SC, he's hanging in there with Randy's off of my friends list. When it comes to do time to do damage to these bosses, Randy's got killers and slayers too to bank off of, and this guy right now doesn't. I don't have enough SC to bring any slayers. I wish I could. I also have to put Dark Attack Rise on him. That's probably going to cost me another 10 SC. So realistically, this guy is well over power level 9,000. You just have to get him up to 65 SC, which is hard to do. And if I honestly didn't think that this guy was strong at all, like if I just thought that maybe he's just here for collector's sake, and if you're really a fan of the show, you just might want this character, I would not be grinding shards for him. Okay? This guy has dethroned some of my other characters so that I can grind shards for him, because I see that is how potent this guy is. If we go to my conquering list, notice he's right here. Here he is. He's on it. He is also on the second page of it. Okay? So that should kind of show you guys how much confidence I do have in this character based off of what I've seen. Just his power creep in the past day fighting these bosses. He is just slaying it now. When I see his numbers light up, it is so nice. Again, I have to put cast on him, and he has to have the spirited breath ability, and I have to put regenerate on him, just so that his kit can charge up quickly. But once it does, it's just not even funny. Okay? So I think for Arena, it's going to be the same thing. You're probably going to strip down some abilities off of him, and you're going to give him skill charge 1, skill charge 2, and skill charge 3. I think they're 3 points each, so that 10 SC is definitely going to help you in Arena. And if somebody has killers or slayers that apply to this character, they're not going to apply to him. He also has an F-ton of defense, like damn near tank-like stats. Very powerful character overall. Because you got to look at his base stats and how much defense he has, how long he's going to be in the fight, on top of how much break power is in his attacks, and just how much damage they're doing overall. Also, they're still working on this character. When they fixed the translation to the spear, I don't know what happened, but I don't think his S3 animation works right now. In fact, let's see. We'll run a quick little mock battle just to see if his S3 works. And you guys will see how slow it does take to charge up his abilities. Let's see. We'll go to the White Lab. Now remember, when I first got this character and I ran him in the White Lab, Alabaster Nightmare, I didn't make it all the way through, right? And it's not because he was a low level, it's because he really didn't have any abilities. Even right now, I'm going to be running him solo. There's nobody giving him haste. I'm not going to put haste on him because that's 5 SC taking away from him. So I'm not running this guy with any slayers. I'm not running him with any killers. I wouldn't suggest putting killers on him myself, because then you're trying to augment his basic attack, which, let's look at it. Basic attack isn't really much. It's got a low range, not really doing all that much. Let's see if this guy casts some spells on me. His movement speed's pretty good. Strongest Primate, it procs all the time. There it goes again, Strongest Primate. great. Constantly proccing. Absolutely love it. That's why I can't wait to get some of his other custom abilities, because you also got to see how often that stuff procs. Righteous Spear, boom, 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 dead. Like, notice the difference in damage from, you know, his little basic attacks to one of these abilities. They're one-hitter quitters, especially for normal little mobs. Oh, and he actually got backstab in there. Interesting. I guess I forgot I had backstab on him. Oh, that's right, I have backstab on him because with the bosses that we're currently fighting, it's pretty easy to run behind one of them. So here's Mr. Ogre, right? We will start with Righteous Spear. Bam. Spear Rush. Bam. Let's do Righteous Spear. Look at that. Look how much damage and break it did to him. I mean, this guy's literally a half health from Righteous Spear. And mind you, everybody, this guy has dark resistance. Yeah, he does have some dark resistance. I thought it was a little bit higher than that. Oh, no, we're looking at my guy. We're looking at my guy. Whoops. Yes, he has 50% dark resistance, right? So this guy's only taking half damage from any of my attacks, right? So he would already been dead a long time ago if he didn't have 50% dark resistance. So yeah, this is Righteous Spear. Let's finish this fool off. Boom. Love that. And it breaks the break bar so much, it's absolutely ridiculous. I wish I would have had this guy when we had that trial with that boss that was just like immune to everything unless you broke him. This guy's an amazing breaker, and I can't wait to augment that some more because he is breaking enemies and then he is going to town on them. Also, his S4 does charge fairly quickly for an S4. The only other character that charges their S4 as quickly as he does that I've noticed is Kohaku. The thing is, Kohaku charges her S1 through 3 5 times faster than this guy and just constantly uses them. Her S1, doing damage with it is going to just cause her to charge up all her abilities. This guy doesn't have anything like that, okay? You have to provide that for him. He's a late bloomer, but man, did he ever bloom. That's all I'm going to say. Very happy with this character, with how he's turning out. Very happy with his event. I think it's awesome that they gave us these different bosses to fight. I think what I'm going to do, and what I suggest people do for these boss fights, target one boss at a time. Okay, like I've defeated this thing like 30 times. Because you're probably going to want a different setup for this monster, and you're definitely going to want a different setup for this golem thing. You're going to want to put Stone Slayer on if you can, Stone Killer. Let's see, this bird, this thing, what is that thing? It curses you. I think it is a curse. You can't use any of your skills or abilities, and then it starts doing wind attacks to push everybody back, and then nobody... It's kind of like Zuglis all over again. Nobody can reach this thing to do damage to it. Kohaku's great for it because her S1 will pretty much just fly her right back over to this thing so she can start doing damage to it. But everybody else is going to need help along the way. I would suggest at least putting curse resistance on like your healer so that at least your healer can keep casting spells, doing things like that, all while everybody's cursed. And as far as this rock golem thing, this is arguably the toughest little boss fight we have. Davin, bring Davin. Kohaku's good. This thing is weak to earth damage. Okay, so in case you guys didn't know that, don't try to bring some Shining Zoc Holy Mage. Bring an earth damage mage or Davin. Davin absolutely shreds this thing. I have a Davin on my friends list. He's probably a little bit stronger than my Davin. But yeah, this thing went down literally in 15 seconds with Davin. Like, he broke and died at the same time. Like, by the time his break bar broke, within 15 seconds, all of his hit points were gone anyway. So, like, every day when that Davin comes up on my friends list, I'm going to run in and do this fight. But typically, I'm going to target one of these. Like, I defeated this guy 30 times already. Then you can check your rewards and see what you're going to get. Yeah, I'm going to want these gems, so I'll kill them a few more times. I think the last reward you get for each of them is by killing them 50 times. I do think that the stone golem gives better rewards, so I'm gonna try to get both of these guys to 30. So I'll start working on this, whatever this thing is. I'm gonna start working on this bird-like monster. Get 30 kills off of this thing. Then I'm going to go set my party up to fight this bastard. If I have to, I'll bring my Davin. But I've been running the collab characters just so I can have a better idea of how to play with them. This is great for Rick Sanchez because you're actually getting to fight a boss. You're actually getting to break it, use your bad chemicals, use your doping on your heroes to make them stronger. My Rick Sanchez can just barely hang in on this fight. We looked at Rick. He only has like half of his ability tree unlocked. He's only level 66, something like that. So I'd like to strengthen him up a little bit more before I get to this guy. Maybe teach him some abilities. It's hard right now because there's not that many gems, and I've really had to rush development with this guy right here, Tsukasa. So, am I always saying his name wrong? Oh well. I've had to pretty much rush this character because somebody already branded him and put him on a tier list that I didn't think was fair. But before I got out here defending this character and talking about how good he could be, I needed to see a little bit of it, right? And this is how long it's taken me, guys. It's taken me 3 days. This is the only character I've been concentrating on for 3 effing days. And I don't even have all his stuff, right? I can only jump to half of a conclusion, alright? But everything I'm seeing is pretty much saying that whoever the hell put this guy on a tier list, I don't know if they had a personal reason for doing it. I don't know if they were salty. I don't know what the deal is. But then what happens too is these sites that make tier lists, they compete with other sites that make tier lists. You know, if I had a tier list site, I'd want everyone to go to mine, and not somebody else's because, you know, maybe there's ads on my page. I mean, they're making money somewhere or another, or it's just a popularity factor. I don't know. I don't make tier lists, but I do know that this is what happens. When somebody puts a character on a tier list, the other tier list sites, they say, "Oh, well, we don't want to be behind, right? We want to have all the new information too." Well, they ranked him around this area. They said he's about this strong. So we'll just kind of mirror that, and we'll kind of give him the same ranking that other site did too. The only problem is that other site ranked him after, you know, who knows if they even had the character to play with. If they did, they sure as hell didn't have him all maxed out. And if they did, they didn't have all of his abilities. And if they did, and that's a big, big if, they sure as hell didn't take the time to test those abilities, to stack those abilities with other abilities, to see what works, to see what doesn't work. I know they didn't take the time to actually run this character in a party with all of the proper support that this character needs to really shine. Because when he does, I mean, we're talking about the world's strongest primate here. This guy is powerful, okay? Don't let anybody kid you. I'm sorry, but tier lists are just that. I've made videos talking about how they're not the most accurate thing in the world. Regardless, in this game, you should just be playing with the character that you want to play with anyway. And so this is what your boy's been doing for the past 3 days. Just working on this guy. You know, just the boss fights have been fun, very fun. Props to Adas for that, right? I really do like the little boss fights that they've given us. and it does give you a pretty good idea of what this guy can do in a boss fight. And like I said, in Arena, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to take some of those skills out, and you're going to put in the charge abilities, so you get your S1 through your S3 charged very quickly at the beginning of a fight. I can see this guy's S3 wiping out a whole Arena team right off rip. So that's another reason why I'm getting this out there, okay? If you see somebody with this character on their Arena team, and you look at it and say, oh, well, that guy's only ranked tier 2 or tier 3 or whatever, you might just go in there and get your ass beat when he drops his S3 right off rip. So I'm just putting the word out there. If you don't have the strongest Arena team and you do see this guy come up, on your player's team, you may want to dodge that opponent and go fight somebody else, because I can see this guy totally wrecking in Arena, and I can see this guy totally wrecking boss fights too. In fact, this guy's going to have a bunch of very niche uses. If they ever come out with a map where it's a bunch of the little pokies that only take 1 point of damage, and they actually do a bunch of damage, this is the guy that I would want to bring, because with that in one blow ability, he can take enemies like that out that are really supposed to be strong cannon fodder. This guy's really good against bosses. He's a breaker extraordinaire, and then he just does an F ton of damage to something that's broken. I just ran the white lab level with him just so we could kind of see the break bar on the ogre, okay? And also, mind you, yeah, that ogre has 50% dark resistance. This guy does dark damage, right? So, I mean, I know that ogre is lower content. Even if I'm running it on hard, it's still only a 10-star fight or whatever it is. But I was really just trying to show how much this guy breaks, right? And I still don't even have the ability that increases his break by an extra 20% and his damage by an extra 20%. I don't have the critical blow ability. I don't have this guy's best custom stuff, okay, is what I'm saying. And I'm already starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's really bright, okay? This guy is balls to the wall powerful. I don't give a shit what some stupid tier list set or something that somebody made up. I've played with this character for the past 3 days. I'm just letting you guys know I want to put real information out there about this character while the banner is still up. I mean, what good would it serve everybody if 2 weeks from now I was like, oh, by the way, everybody, this Tsukasa guy is just a straight undercover boss. It's good to know now that his banner's gone, right? So that's what I've been doing. I've been playing with this character, trying to figure out what's what, so that I could get something out there about him while his banner is still up, okay? And if you guys think that I'm just trying to mislead people or bullshitting or anything stupid like that, I think this right here will speak for itself. Where is it? Right here. I'm doing the daily gacha pull for this character. Me. I'm doing it. Why the hell would I do that? Well, because I really want to pull a dupe of him. That is how powerful I think he is. I see it. Okay? Even if I only have 50% of his build, like, this has to be proof. I'm doing a daily pull for this character because I want to get a duplicate of him. I'm actually trying to whale for him. Right? Now, I'm not going all crazy doing 10 pulls, only because I can't afford it. But I'm at least going to be doing my daily pull. If I can luck out and get a second one of him, I can have enough shards to actually power him up to the level that he is supposed to be at and to be the effing monster that he is. And then we can start talking about Roland and where these characters stack up. Because the thing is, Kohaku is put on a tier list above Roland too. Like, I've seen it. I've seen Kohaku next to Roland. I've seen Roland before her. I've seen her before Roland. So if that is indicating how powerful Roland is, okay, that makes sense. Because Kohaku's super powerful too. This guy's right up there with them. And if I honestly didn't feel that from the heart, I wouldn't be doing daily pulls on him. Matter of fact, here, just because you guys sat through this video, alright, and I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I can't lie to you guys, this is honestly how I feel. This is the truth, and I wouldn't be doing pulls and actually trying to wail for a character that is a tier 2 or tier 3 character, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever somebody ranked him as that had no idea what the hell they were talking about. If I really felt any of that was honest, do you guys honestly think that I would be trying to pull for a duplicate of this character when I already have him? And we know Roland's on his way. We know that we should be saving our gems. The reason I'm doing this is because I honestly know that if you can get this guy's SC high enough, if you can really cap him off, this guy is a monster and a half. Really, that's all I'm gonna say. That's where I'm gonna end it. Despite how you feel about, you know, the gacha system and what they did and how they released everything, and maybe they were being a little shady doing this or that, changing the rates up. You know, I have to talk about this character on his own merit, right? Forget about the pulls, forget about whatever shiesty thing Adis did. When it comes to this character standing on his own 2 feet, he is powerful. It's just a long road to get there. Like I said, you know, Celios is probably like a skip and a hop ahead of him when it comes to actually you know, leveling up and getting stronger. This guy really, really takes the long road. But I can tell you right now, he is worth it. Worth it so much so that I'm trying to pull a dupe of him. And mind you, this is the first and probably the only time that I will ever try to pull a duplicate of a character in this game. There's really no point in doing it unless you don't want to grind shards. I just happen to know that this guy is so effing powerful, if you have a ton of shards for him, that, yeah, it's won me over. I'm doing my daily pull for him. And matter of fact, I wish I could do a daily pull on 2 different banners with him, but I can't. So, Mobile Gamers Unite, that's what's what right now. Just being honest with you guys, I wanted to get this out there while this banner was still up. And the comments are open. Let's talk about this, because if I've missed anything, you know, go ahead and ask. Go ahead and leave me your comment. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm crazy, you're more than welcome to tell me. But I've been playing with this guy for 3 days non-stop, and you're right. Out of the box, he's nothing like impressive at all. But I saw through that. I had patience. I waited, and it's paying off today. So today was the first day that I could actually make a vid and talk about it, because I actually have a damn leg to stand on. I do know what I'm talking about. I've been running nothing but this character for a few days. So, Mobile Gamers Unite, thank you for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe. Alright, I'm always here. It's always on and popping on this channel. We're always talking about all this juicy stuff. You're more than welcome to join the discussion. Just hit like, subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to say hello. I get back to everybody. So, best of luck to everybody with their pull efforts, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.